In this video, we are going to talk about your competition, knowing your competition, and what you can learn from them. So remember, I kept saying your key differentiator, that is how you are going to stand out from your competition. But let's talk about another type of competition that's not necessarily just other teachers. Outschool, Varsity Tutors, Sylvan Learning, and other businesses that are similar to this. I'm finding new ones every couple of months, a new one pops up. But these are some of the bigger ones that are out there. And even when I started my own business, I considered possibly working for or with an organization like this. And as you are building your own business, I think Outschool would probably be my go-to Wyzans. I've also heard good things about, but you can't take your students off platform. So I would say work with them in integrity as you're building your business, building up your clientele as a way to earn some supplemental income. But be very, very careful that you don't cross any boundaries of taking students off of the platform, because you can end up getting yourself completely kicked off and burning a bridge. But anyway, that's my little spiel. But the one thing that these companies have over you is that they have brand awareness. People know that they exist. They tend to be like the first thing that people think of when they're like, oh, my kid is really struggling in math. They'll look at places like this, where that might be the first thing that they think of before they sit down to their keyboard and type in math tutors near me or whatever it is that your ideal client is going to be typing in. So while they do have that brand awareness, the fact that people know that they exist, they oftentimes can't do what you do. And they can't offer what you are able to offer. Remember, we know that not all teachers are best for all students, and not all students are best for all teachers. And having the opportunity to work with somebody that is really dedicated to the learning of that particular child and not just delivering a certain type of content, this is where you can differentiate yourself. But one of the things that you are going to have to work on with your marketing is that brand awareness piece. And that's where I really do say that's the job of social media marketing, is really to be getting that brand awareness so people know that you exist. But the best marketing ever is really going to be your clients. Once you get a couple of clients, then that goes over. But that's another training. This one is about pricing. But what I do want you to know is when it comes to pricing and looking at your competition, you are going to be more expensive than what those other people are offering, but it's because you're offering a lot more than what they are. A lot of times in a place like Sylvan, it's not even actual teachers that they have in there. I've had former high school students that were working as tutors at Sylvan, and I know that they don't have the education or the experience that we have had in working with those students. And so that's why we're able to get better outcomes for our students. And if you happen to be a parent, then you know that being able to choose the teacher that's best for your kiddo is huge. That is worth it. Then we're going back and we're comparing ourselves to places like when you're choosing a music instructor. You don't usually just go down and like, okay, you'll do. You look up, you get reviews, you find out more about that particular music instructor before committing, or a dance studio, or athletic training for your students, for your own personal children. You're going to be doing that research, and they are as well. But what you should be doing when you are looking at your competitors is looking for the ways that you're different and how you can highlight it. That's a marketing thing. Looking at their pricing and thinking about the value that they're actually getting for that pricing. And I've said this a bunch of times. So we know this, and we've seen this with our own eyes. I've had students that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't quite get them, but another teacher was able to help them cross that finish line. And that's wonderful. And that is one of the things that I like about the network of private practice teachers that I'm beginning to create is that we can refer students to each other for that reason. But it's because we're leaning into our own strengths, we're helping our students discover their strengths, that when we really get clear about who we are, what we can offer, and we really know who our ideal client is, that's what ICA, ideal client, then we really don't have any competition. Like my students, they have been with me for years since I started my business because they love working with me. They look forward to not only learning the content, but getting to spend that time with me. And I really enjoy getting to spend that time with them. And even though I know some other great French teachers, they don't want to go. They want to stay working with me, even when I raise my prices, even when my prices are higher than the people that I refer them to who are newer in their business or who have less experience. They would rather stay with me and even pay a higher price, even when we're working online. And so those are the people, that's how it's because of those relationships and because of our ability to help them access what's in their brains and their own strengths. And it's such a rewarding exchange. That's how we get longevity in our business. That's how we get consistency in our business. And it even is our best marketing because those people turn into raving fans who will tell other people who mention, oh, I didn't know you were taking private French classes. Oh, yes, my teacher's awesome. I love her so much. Let me see if she's still taking students or if she has time to take a new student. I'll talk to her for you. That kind of buzz, it takes a little while to get it going. But that's why I have not had to spend any money or really any time on marketing my teaching business for at least 2 years now because I have built up that kind of clientele and built up my schedule to that point. Now, we've covered the basics at this point. We've got knowing who your real competition is, looking at them, seeing how you can make yourself stand out, also looking to see what their pricing is and how, when you are getting into your marketing, how you can make yourself stand out in case these are the people that your ideal client is also looking at when they're weighing whether or not to work with you or to work with somebody else. That is good information. We have figured out the basic formulas for calculating your pricing around different types of products and services, and even gone back to covering what our base rate value is to put into that. So here's where we're going next. We're going into crafting your pricing strategy and possibly even running some promotions. And then finally, in the last video would be your terms of service. So you're halfway there. See you in the next video.